All right, so I have adjusted with direct adjustments this mountaintop, and I want to blend it into this sky now. Now, there's a few ways I can do it. I used the lasso before and I rough cut it. If I keep just using the lasso and cutting away, that's going to take a long, long time. And now we have to think of something called edge variety, right? When I cut with the lasso, that's a very clean edge. If I want it to be a softer edge, I can change the lasso settings at the top to be feathered. So that's 0 feather, where you're cutting right between pixels. If I do like a 4 pixel feather, let's see what that looks like. A little bit softer, right? If I do a 10 pixel feather, see what that looks like. A little bit softer now. 20 pixel feather. A little bit softer now, right? I would never go beyond 20 pixel feather, because if you go beyond 20, you don't even know what you're selecting anymore, right? It's just gonna be a blob. But you can see how at 20 pixels feathering, it's starting to gradate in. But that's a real pain to say, okay, I want to cut out this cloud with a 20 pixel feather. But what's beautiful about feathering, just so you know, even if it's just a 1 pixel feather, is each time you hit delete, it will keep biting away. Kind of an echo effect out from your selection. So that's one way I can kind of get the softness of that cloud. But it's not the only way. And the problem with setting your lasso up to have a feather is that it will always remember that feather. So you'll need to set it back if you want a cleaner selection. For instance, for the top of a mountain, right, which would be a harder edge. What's another way we can select that we've learned? The magic wand, right? Magic wand is incredibly useful here. It selects similar pixels. Before we used it with contiguous turned off, and we selected all the white from black line art and deleted it, right? Now I'm going to turn contiguous on. So it will only select pixels that are touching where I select. I'm going to use the default tolerance of 32, and I'm going to click on the blue. And you can see that it selects all of the blue, but also things that were touching the blue in some way through that gap, and then touching within a 32 range. So if I delete now, I'm going to delete too much. Does that make sense? So I could try taking down the tolerance. I usually go from 32 to 12. And then select the blue. And then make sure it's not cutting things out I don't want. And no, that looks pretty good. So now I can hit delete. The problem is, that's going to give me a really sharp edge, right? Clouds don't have a sharp edge. Mountaintops do. So what can I do? Well, it's still selected. How can I feather this, even though I used it with the magic wand instead of the lasso? I can click on select and mask. So select, and remember, all your tool options are always at the top of the screen. So the select and mask properties come up. And one of those properties is feather. So I'm going to feather it by maybe 3 pixels, something close to that. And I'm going to increase the radius by about 5 pixels. And I'm going to shift the edge, which means to grow into it, by about 70%. And then I'm going to set it, this is important, to remember these settings. So I don't, every time I want to use this, I don't have to come back and reset each of those dials. Does that make sense? So this is for softening. I know you don't know what they do yet, but I'm going to show you what they do. So the 3 I use are radius, feather, shift edge. If you have no radius, it won't project out anything, right? So radius is how far do you want this to go beyond what you selected. Now I'll zoom in so you can see, because it's subtle. This is to soften the edge. My selection was these pixels out here, right? Now it's pushed it in. And when I delete, it will feather it. So you see how it softens it? And then softens it some more if I hit delete again. And that's what's called a feathered edge. And for some of it that works. For some of it, it looks ridiculous. But what's the first thing I did? I got rid of the hard edge. So that's always your first step when you're doing refinements in blending. Okay, now I want to blend those clouds in. How can I do that? I'm going to use my eraser, and I'm going to use it really large, at least probably 300 pixels, not more, right? So the eraser is pretty much in the middle of your tools. It's here. You don't want to use the background eraser. You don't want to use the magic eraser. You just want to use the regular eraser. The shortcut is E for it. And yeah, this is a new tool. And we're going to control it just like we're going to control a brush later on with its size and with its hardness. Now, when you're doing landscapes, you want the hardness to always be 0 on your eraser when you're blending textures that are soft-edged, like clouds and sky. So now I have a large eraser that is soft-edged, and it's at 100% opacity. The only reason I would want 100% opacity is if I just wanted to trim this completely. Right? Like that. And notice, because it's soft-edged, it's not even completely erasing it, because it's 0% hardness. And I like the tablet because it's pressure sensitive, right? So I can just work kind of softly. And then as soon as I have kind of obliterated the sharper edges that I know I don't want, like all of this, then I can move to a lower opacity. And I'm going to go to about 30%. And then I'm a lot safer because I know it's not going to get rid of everything. And now this starts to reveal that background layer behind. Now I still need to be careful because I don't want to accidentally erase the mountain, right? So how can I protect it? I can use the magic wand and I can select the mountain. Hold down Shift and select, all these blues, go up to 32. So now I've kind of masked the mountain. Does that make sense? It's like a stencil. But in order to not erase that, I have to say select the opposite, select the inverse. And now when I use the eraser tool, it won't soften the mountain, it will just soften the clouds. So it's the selections, right? So I used the magic wand to select it, and then I inverted the selection by going to select inverse. Which I don't have a selection right now, so it doesn't show, but it's there. Inverse. Right, then I'm back to just blending in these clouds. Now it's tempting to just say, well, why can't I just take the whole layer and just take its opacity down, blend it into the atmosphere of the background? Sometimes that works. Like in this case, that mountain doesn't look too softened because of it, but that actually makes whatever is behind it come through it. And if there was like a tree branch or something back there, it would look real bad. So it's good to have full control of your pixels. That's the goal. Now I'm going to take that eraser, I'm going to go a little bit smaller with that soft edge. I'm just going to handle my business here with the edges. And once you've blended it, or you've cut out the edge, like refined, then you might decide that you want to go through direct adjustments again. You want to play with levels, you want to play with all that. And that's your right, you certainly can. And then you'll get kind of the most out of it. But I want this mist to feel believable. It's kind of an important aspect of my composition. So I'm kind of taking the time on this. And then if I want the color of the sky to come through a little bit more back here, I'm going to make it bigger. Whoops, that's too opaque. Take it down to about 30. Now remember, Command Z is always a thing, but because we are changing pixels directly, whoops, and we're using the crop tool sometimes. Remember, you have your history, but we also have the smart objects. So you have your original pixels if you need them. So if I ever cut out too much from that mountain, I can always go back to the smart object where I got it from. That's why that's kind of nested there. So that's soft edge blending, which is generally in the far background. And that's where we start because it's a little bit more forgiving than kind of the crisp cutouts we'll be doing later. Now what you never want to do when you're using the eraser tool to blend, and I'll show you here, is you never want to use a low opacity eraser on a hard edge. So you see that hard edge? If I use low opacity on it, no matter how much I do it, it's still going to slightly be there, like a little ghost of a hard edge. So what do I do first for the hard edges? I make it 100% opacity with the soft edge. And I obliterate that hard edge first, right? Before I go to lower opacities and then start blending. And that's why it's so nice to have overlap between your layers so that you can reveal kind of the mist building up. Even up to like 1,000 pixels. Right? This will help blend this skyline in. Okay. So that's that layer. If I want to see the parameters, I just turn on my guides and I see them. And then that looks a little clunky, so I'm going to go in with higher opacity. Soften this up. And then go in with lower opacity and blend it. All right, so now I've blended 2 layers together. So a good time to save, Command S. Now I move to my next layer. Which was this. This was meant to kind of augment the shape of the mountain, to make it kind of a weirder mountain, not so typical. But you can see its color and its lighting is way off. So what do? I do my direct image adjustments. Start with levels. I'm going to push the midtone slider a lot darker. So this is in the background. I'm going to limit the highlights on it. I think that's about it. I could even limit the shadows a little bit. Nope. Not too helpful. Okay. Next, the big one, my favorite one, color balance. This is way too warm. Got to push the midtones towards the blue, towards the cyan a bit, towards the magenta a bit. Push the highlights. Highlights look almost right. Maybe I'll put a little bit more red in them. And then the shadows, let's see, just a touch. Okay, big change there, right? And now hue saturation, image adjustment, hue saturation. You don't always need this, but I'm going to take the intensity of the color down a little bit. shift the hue a little bit.